Financial discipline, the weapon that helps you beat 90% of the crowd. The quiet skill that builds millionaires. Everyone talks about how to make more money. Side hustles. Hot stocks. Crypto booms. But here's the truth nobody tells you. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. And the skill that separates wealthy people from the rest isn't genius, isn't luck. It's discipline. Financial discipline. The quiet, invisible power that decides whether you build real wealth or stay stuck in the cycle forever. Think about it. Why do some people with average salaries become financially free, while others with six-figure incomes end up broke? Because the real game of money isn't about speed. It's about self-control. In this video, we're diving into why discipline is the real superpower in personal finance. How 90% of people fail because they ignore this one thing. And how you can start building wealth today, not by earning more, but by doing this one habit differently. If you've ever felt like you're making money but not moving forward, this might be the most important mindset shift you'll ever make. So let's break it down. Part 1. Why financial discipline beats high income. Imagine two people. Person A makes $250,000 a year, drives a Tesla, eats at 5-star restaurants, wears designer clothes. Person B makes $65,000 a year, drives a 10-year-old Honda, cooks at home, buys generic brands. Fast forward 10 years. You'd think person A is wealthy, right? But what if I told you? Person B is now financially free, owns a house, has zero debt, a $300,000 investment portfolio. And person A? Living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in credit card debt, still trying to look rich, but barely surviving. How is this possible? It's simple. Discipline beats income. And this is the part they never teach you in school or show you on social media. 1. The great lie. Earn more, live better. Most people believe the answer to financial stress is to earn more. Just get a raise. Start a business. Invest in that next big thing. But here's the truth. If you can't manage $1,000, you won't manage $10,000. And if you can't handle $10,000, you'll waste $100,000. Money doesn't solve financial problems. Habits do. And the number one habit? Discipline. The ability to say no when everyone else says yes. To delay what you want now, so you can have more later. 2. The rich think long-term, the poor live for now. Rich people don't just earn differently, they think differently. They ask, will this choice help me 5 years from now? Poor thinking asks, will this make me feel good right now? One invests $200 into an index fund. The other spends $200 on weekend drinks. Multiply that decision every month for 10 years. And now you see why one group builds wealth, and the other stays stuck. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about vision. It's about saying, I see a future that's worth sacrificing for today. 3. Why most people fail without realizing it. You know what's crazy? Most people think they're being smart with money. They don't track their spending. They buy based on emotion. They think budgets are for poor people. They believe YOLO is a financial strategy. That's not freedom. That's financial blindness. And discipline? It starts by opening your eyes. Ask yourself, Do you know how much you spend every month? Are you investing consistently? Can you go 30 days without buying something unnecessary? If that feels hard, you've found your starting line. For discipline is a muscle, not a trait. Here's the good news. You don't need to be born with discipline. You build it like a muscle. Start small. Brew coffee at home for 30 days. Use cash for one category of spending. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment account. These aren't just financial hacks. They're training sessions for your future self. And over time, that small discipline becomes your biggest strength. 5. The hidden rewards of discipline. Most people only think about what they're giving up when they choose discipline. But let me flip that. What are you gaining? Peace of mind, control over your life, real options and freedom, the ability to say yes to opportunities because you're not buried in debt. Discipline isn't restriction. It's liberation. And the more you train it, the more powerful you become. 6. What's next? The habits that build wealth. Now that we understand the why behind financial discipline, in the next part, we'll get into the how. What do financially disciplined people actually do every day? How do they manage money differently? And what habits can you start this week to move toward financial freedom? Because this isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And small, smart habits repeated over time change everything. Ready to build wealth like the 10% who actually make it? Let's dive into part 2. Part 2. Habits of financially disciplined people. If financial discipline is the weapon, then habits are the sharp edges that make it cut through chaos. You don't just become disciplined overnight. You train for it. And if you look closely at people who build wealth without winning the lottery or being born into money, you'll notice they all follow a handful of simple but powerful habits. Habits that, when repeated over time, build financial freedom from the inside out. So let's break them down. 1. They budget like a boss, but make it simple. Forget complex spreadsheets with 20 categories. Financially disciplined people follow one rule. Every dollar has a job. They don't leave money sitting around, hoping it behaves. They give it purpose. They use simple systems like 50/30/20 needs, wants, savings. Zero-based budgeting. Cash envelopes, yes, still works. Apps like Inab or Mint to track everything in real time. And here's the key. It's not about being strict. It's about being clear. When you know where your money goes, you control your life. When you don't, your life controls you. 2. They automate success. Discipline isn't just about self-control. It's also about systems. The wealthy don't rely on willpower. They automate things that matter. Investments get pulled the same day they get paid. Bills are scheduled to avoid late fees. Savings are deducted before they even see the money. But because humans are emotional, systems are relentless. And once automation kicks in, your life starts building wealth, whether you're thinking about it or not. 3. They track their net worth monthly. Think tracking your net worth is just for rich people? Think again. Financially disciplined people track net worth the same way a pilot tracks altitude. They know what they own, assets, what they owe, liabilities, and how that number is moving every single month. Even if it's negative now, tracking it builds awareness. and awareness builds motivation. What gets measured gets managed. And what gets managed gets better. For they delay gratification ruthlessly. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Disciplined people say no to buying a new car on a whim. No to $300 sneakers they don't need. No to keeping up with their broke friends on social media." But they're not saying no forever. They're saying no for now, so they can say yes to bigger things later. Freedom from debt, a paid-off home, early retirement, peace of mind. This habit is the core muscle of financial discipline. 5. They make investing a routine, not an event. Rich people don't invest when the market is hyped. They invest automatically, every week, every month, without emotion. They treat investing like brushing their teeth, boring but essential. Whether it's index funds, Roth IRAs, real estate, a diversified long-term portfolio, the key is consistency, not perfection. Time in the market beats timing the market. That's not just a quote, it's a habit. 6. They set clear financial goals and review them. Disciplined people don't just save. They save with purpose. They have goals like pay off $10,000 in debt by December. Save 3 months of expenses by July. Invest $500 per month in a Roth IRA all year. They review those goals monthly or quarterly, adjusting based on life, not giving up when things get tough. They treat finances like a mission, not a mood. 7. They learn consistently. While others binge Netflix or doom scroll, disciplined people read books like The Millionaire Next Door, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Watch finance channels. Listen to podcasts during their commute. Study money the way others study fashion or sports. They understand this truth. The more you learn about money, the more money you tend to keep. Because money isn't just about numbers, it's about choices. And smart choices come from sharp minds. So what does this mean for you? If you don't feel disciplined yet, that's okay. Nobody starts off perfect. But you can begin today. Pick just one of these habits. Start tracking your expenses. Set up automatic investing. Create a simple budget. Delay one unnecessary purchase this week. Then build momentum. Because these habits, they aren't just about saving money. They're about becoming someone who's in control. Someone who isn't ruled by debt, fear, or hype. Someone who has options, because they built discipline one habit at a time. Coming up in part 3. Why most people break, and how to stay consistent when it gets hard. Because knowing what to do is only half the battle. Sticking with it when the world tries to knock you off track? That's the real test. Let's go deeper in the next part. Part 3. The Discipline Struggle. Why most people break. Everyone loves the idea of discipline. Until discipline starts to hurt. Let's be honest. Saving money is easy, for one day. Waking up early to track expenses is fun, for 1 week. Skipping a luxury purchase feels powerful, until everyone else is posting theirs on Instagram. That's the moment when most people break. Not because they're weak, but because the world trains us to live for now, not for later. So why is it so hard to stay financially disciplined in the long run? Let's dig deep. 1. Modern life is built to destroy discipline. Think about it. You walk into a store and you're instantly hit with buy now, pay later. You scroll social media and you see people taking luxury trips with zero interest credit. Your phone buzzes with a sale that expires in 3 hours. Everything is designed to trigger FOMO. And FOMO is the enemy of long-term thinking. Because it whispers, why wait? You deserve this now. Discipline feels boring. Temptation feels urgent. And most people choose urgent. 2. They don't see results fast enough. One of the hardest truths in finance is this. The right thing feels wrong at first. You save $200 instead of spending it, yet nothing changes. You skip the new iPhone, yet your net worth only moves by 1%. You invest $500 this month, and the market dips next week. So what do most people do? They quit. They say, it's not working. What's the point? Maybe I'll try again next year. But here's the truth. Wealth builds in silence until it explodes. The early phase of discipline feels invisible. And because people don't get fast dopamine, they stop. But what they don't realize is, they were only inches from the breakthrough. 3. They don't have a why strong enough. Most people start with goals, but goals fade. What you need is a reason, a deep, emotional why. I want to retire my mom. I never want my kids to feel hungry the way I did. I want to walk away from any job that disrespects me. That's not just motivation. That's fuel. People who stay disciplined aren't superhuman. They're just anchored to something deeper than temporary pleasure. When your why is strong enough, saying no becomes powerful, not painful. For they try to go alone. Ever notice how easy it is to break your own promises? That's why financially disciplined people often join money accountability groups, have financial coaches or mentors, build routines with their partner or spouse, celebrate small wins with a support system. Because discipline is tough when you're surrounded by noise. But it's powerful when you're surrounded by purpose-driven people. You don't have to fight alone. And if you try, you might not last. 5. They confuse frugality with scarcity. Some people think discipline means deprivation. But real financial discipline isn't about having less. It's about having more on your terms. Let's break the myth. It's not about eating rice and beans forever. It's not about cutting out coffee or joy. It's not about guilt every time you spend. It's about intentional living. You don't say no to pleasure. You say no to random spending. You don't cancel fun. You fund it consciously. This is how disciplined people avoid burnout. They allow joy, but they make it sustainable. 6. They don't have a system, just willpower. Here's a tough truth. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out. Disciplined people don't rely on it. They create systems, automatic transfers, weekly money check-ins, habit stacking. Every Sunday equals finance day. Visual dashboards of debt paid and net worth growing. They remove friction. Because when life gets chaotic, systems keep you steady. No system? You'll burn out. So, why do most people break? Because nobody taught them how to build resilient discipline. They think it's about restriction, but it's really about redirection. And if you can master this redirection, you can become unstoppable. Coming up in part 4. The blueprint, How to build bulletproof financial discipline ****. We'll break down exactly how to rebuild your money habits, step by step, with systems that actually stick. No fluff, no cut coffee cliches. Just real tools, real structure, and real transformation. See you in the next part. Part 4. The Blueprint. How to build bulletproof financial discipline. Most people think discipline is about being stronger. But in reality, it's about being smarter. Discipline isn't a muscle you flex when temptation hits. It's a system you build before temptation ever arrives. Welcome to the Blueprint. Here's how you go from chaotic spending to calm, consistent, and confident control of your money. Let's break it down. Step 1. Automate the right behaviors. Discipline fails when you rely on willpower. So instead of trying harder, make good decisions automatic. Set up automatic savings. Every paycheck, send 10 to 20% to a separate savings or investment account before you see it. Auto-pay bills on payday. Don't wait to spend and then scramble. Pay essentials first. Round up investing apps. Use tools that invest your spare change without you thinking. If your money moves itself in the right direction, you don't need to fight yourself daily. That's freedom. Step 2. Budget like a minimalist, not a miser. Most people hate budgeting, because they do it wrong. Here's how disciplined people budget. They start with the big rocks. What matters most? Rent, groceries, debt repayment, investing. B. Then they carve out joy money. Yes, money for fun. It's not a sin to enjoy life. It's a plan. See, what's left? That's where you cut. You don't trim what feeds your goals or soul. You trim the noise. This approach turns budgeting into a value-driven habit, not a guilt trap. Step 3. Build micro-routines, not mega-plans. Most people try to change their entire financial life overnight. It never lasts. Disciplined people? They go small, but consistent. Examples. Every Sunday, 15-minute money check-in. Every month, track net worth on one Google Sheet. Every quarter, review big financial goals. Every purchase, ask, is this aligned with my values? Discipline grows from rhythm, not randomness. Make money management a lifestyle, not a once-a-year event. Step 4. Track the right metrics. Discipline dies in the fog. You need clarity, but not just about expenses. Track what reinforces growth, like net worth over time, percentage of income saved, number of debt-free days, compound gains on investments, how long you've stayed consistent. Because what gets measured gets motivated, and watching your own progress is the greatest fuel for discipline. Step 5. Use visual anchors. Want to stay disciplined? Make your goals visible. Put a photo of your dream home on your mirror. Use a tracker app that shows your debt shrinking. Create a freedom meter that ticks upward with every month saved. These visual cues remind you why you're doing this. They make your long-term vision feel real, today. And when your brain can see success, it craves the behaviors that create it. Step 6. Create a no-temptation zone. Discipline often breaks because we keep temptation close. Try this. Unsubscribe from promo emails and shopping apps. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger envy spending. Use a separate card for your essentials and freeze the rest. Put 48-hour rules on all non-essential purchases. Remember, it's not about resisting temptation. It's about removing it. Discipline doesn't mean you're superhuman. It means you're strategic. Step 7. Reward consistency, not outcomes. Most people only celebrate big wins. Debt-free, $100,000 saved, etc. But true discipline celebrates consistency. Did you stick to your budget this week? Did you invest, even a small amount, this month? Did you avoid impulse spending for 30 days? Reward that. Build a system of positive reinforcement. Treat yourself, within reason, after 90 days of consistency. Write down your weekly wins in a money journal. Share your progress with someone who roots for you. This trains your brain to enjoy the process, not just the prize. Step 8. Build an identity, not just a habit. Habits fade, but identity sticks. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to save money," "I'm a disciplined investor." "I'm someone who's in control of their future." "I'm building financial freedom, one decision at a time." When discipline becomes who you are, it no longer feels like effort. It feels like alignment. So what's next? You've now built your personal discipline engine, from automation to habits to identity. But there's still one major challenge ahead. How do you stay strong when everyone around you isn't? How do you hold the line when the market crashes? When your friends splurge? When the world tells you you're missing out? That's where we're going next. Coming up in part 5. The world is undisciplined. How to stay strong in a temptation-driven society ***. You'll learn how to build mental armor against distractions, and how disciplined people stay calm when everyone else panics. This is where real power begins. Let's go deeper. Part 5. The world is undisciplined. How to stay strong in a temptation-driven society. You've built your financial system. Your routines are in place. Your goals are clear. But there's a problem. You live in a world designed to break your discipline. Every day, you are bombarded with messages screaming, "Buy now, pay later." Life is short. Treat yourself. Why wait to enjoy your money? Let's be real. We don't live in a disciplined society. We live in a temptation economy. And if you want to rise above 90% of the crowd, you must learn how to stand strong while the world spins out of control. Here's how. 1. Understand the battlefield. Discipline starts with awareness. Every ad, influencer post, and TikTok, get rich quick, reel, is fighting for your focus. Your attention is the product. Your money is the target. Here's the trick. They make spending feel exciting. They make waiting feel like failure. But wealth isn't built in a dopamine rush. It's built in silence, repetition, and delayed gratification. When you realize this, you stop playing their game. 2. Create a filtered world. You can't control the world, but you can curate your inputs. Ask yourself, are the accounts I follow encouraging smart financial decisions? Are my friends helping me grow or pushing me to spend? Is my environment making discipline harder or easier? Try this. Follow creators who promote long-term thinking. Join a community of financially disciplined people. Replace late-night scrolling with a book on investing. Mute ads, promo emails, shopping apps. You are the average of the content you consume. Curate wisely. 3. Redefine success on your terms. Society celebrates loud wealth. The cars, the trips, the flex. But real wealth? It's quiet. It's the ability to walk away from any job you hate. Sleep without money stress. Give your kids a better life. Retire with dignity. Every time you resist showing off, you invest in something deeper, true security. The world won't clap for your savings account, but your future self will. Master the 3-second pause. Impulse is your enemy. Reflection is your weapon. Before any major financial decision, train yourself to pause for 3 seconds and ask, does this help me become who I want to be? If the answer is no, walk away. This one pause can save you from hundreds of bad decisions and protect thousands of future dollars. Discipline doesn't always feel like a big moment. Often, it's one quiet decision you don't regret later. 5. Celebrate being different. You will be misunderstood. People might say, why don't you just live a little? You're too strict. You're missing out. Let them talk. While they chase likes and lifestyle debt, you're building legacy. You're not missing out. You're opting out of stress, of chaos, of short-term thinking. Discipline is not deprivation. It's direction. It means you know exactly where you're going, and you're not afraid to walk alone. 6. Build a why that scares you. Discipline without purpose will eventually fail. You need a why that shakes your soul. Ask yourself, what happens if I don't stay disciplined? What future am I protecting by saying no today? Who am I doing this for? Maybe it's for your kids. Maybe it's for the version of you who deserves peace. Write it down. Read it often. Because when temptation hits hardest, your why becomes your shield. 7. Train your mind like an investor. Here's the ultimate mindset shift. Most people think like consumers. Disciplined people think like investors. Consumers ask, how much can I afford today? Investors ask, what will this cost my future? Consumers chase pleasure. Investors chase freedom. The moment you start seeing every dollar as a seed, not just spending power, your brain shifts. Discipline becomes less about control and more about choice. You're not restricting yourself. You're giving future you every possible advantage. 8. Turn temptation into a test. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. So when you slip, don't say, I failed. That was a test. Now I'm stronger. The undisciplined world will always try to pull you off course. But every time you resist, every time you get back on track, you grow. Not just financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You become unshakable. What's next? Now you've learned how to stay disciplined despite a chaotic world. But there's one more piece of the puzzle. How do you turn discipline into wealth that lasts generations? How do you use this power to build something bigger than yourself? That's what we'll uncover next. Coming up in part 6. Legacy wealth. Using discipline to build a financial future that lasts ***. You'll learn how the most disciplined investors don't just grow money for themselves. They change their entire family tree. This is where it all comes together. Part 6. Legacy wealth. Using discipline to build a financial future that lasts. So far, you've learned how discipline builds financial peace, protects your future, and shields you from a world that thrives on temptation. But let's go deeper. What if your discipline could outlive you? What if every smart choice you made planted seeds that grow for generations? Welcome to the power of legacy wealth. This isn't just about getting rich. It's about creating a future so solid, your children's children benefit from the quiet sacrifices you made today. And here's how you start. 1. Understand what legacy really means. Legacy isn't just about money. It's about mindset. A disciplined investor doesn't just pass down assets. They pass down habits, principles, wisdom. Because here's the truth. You can leave your kids $1 million, but if they don't understand how you built it, they'll lose it in a decade. Legacy wealth is built by combining financial assets and financial education. And it starts now. 2. Build assets that outlive you. Not all money is created equal. Here are 3 kinds of wealth that stand the test of time. Cash-flowing investments, rental properties, dividend stocks, businesses. Protected retirement accounts, IRAs, 401(k)s, tax-advantaged savings. Life insurance, a plan that gives even when you're gone. But beyond money, think bigger. Document your investment strategy. Keep journals of lessons you've learned. Write letters to your future family. Because when discipline becomes a system, not a secret, your wealth becomes renewable. 3. Teach, don't just transfer. The average inheritance disappears in less than 5 years. Because people inherit resources without inheriting responsibility. Start early. Talk to your kids about money decisions. Explain why you save, why you invest, why you wait. Give them small amounts to manage and review together. Turn discipline into a family tradition, not a personal struggle. Create a culture where delayed gratification is celebrated, not avoided. The richest families aren't just rich in dollars. They're rich in values. Lead with example, not just advice. You don't have to lecture. You just have to live it. Every time your child sees you, turning down a luxury car, saying no to debt, choosing investing over impulse, they're learning, even in silence. Because discipline is loud, even when you don't speak. And when you walk the path long enough, those behind you learn to follow. 5. Create your wealth manual. Want to give your family a real gift? Build a wealth manual, a living document of how you think, save, invest, and grow. Include your financial philosophy, key habits and decisions, what worked and what failed, resources that shaped you, a message to the next generation. Imagine your grandchild reading that 50 years from now. Imagine them saying, "This is how our family thinks. This is how we win." That's legacy. 6. Think beyond money. Build a legacy of identity. Wealth is just a vehicle. Legacy is about identity. Ask yourself, what do I want my family name to stand for? How do I want to be remembered? What lessons matter more than dollars? Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's wisdom. Maybe it's discipline. Whatever it is, live it boldly. Because one day, your financial decisions will fade, but your identity will echo. 7. Protect your wealth from erosion. Even legacy wealth needs defense. Here's how disciplined investors protect their impact. Wills and trusts. Make your wishes clear and legally binding. Succession planning. If you own a business, prepare your heirs. Diversification. Don't bet everything on one market. Teach conflict management. Families that fight over money lose it faster. Remember, it's not enough to build. You must protect. Because wealth that isn't structured becomes vulnerable. And wealth that isn't understood becomes wasted. 8. Let discipline be your family's identity. There's a saying, hard times create strong people. Strong people create good times. Good times create weak people. Weak people create hard times. Break that cycle. Be the generation that chooses strength even during good times. Let your discipline not just build wealth, but build resilience into your bloodline, so that long after you're gone, your family still knows how to think, act, and grow like builders. That's the ultimate financial freedom. Coming up in Part 7, the final word, discipline is destiny ***. In the final part, we'll tie it all together. You'll see how everything you've learned about systems, mindset, legacy, points to one truth. Your discipline is not a restriction. It is the path to your highest, freest self. Let's end this journey strong. Part 7. The final word. Discipline is destiny. So here we are. You've traveled through the mental battlefield of temptation. You've discovered how the wealthy use discipline not to survive, but to thrive. You've seen how habits, patience, and long-term thinking create not just financial success, but freedom across generations. Now let's bring it home. Because if you take nothing else from this entire video, take this. Discipline is not a burden. It is your superpower. It is the quiet force that separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the builders, the temporary from the timeless. 1. Discipline is the foundation of all greatness. Behind every great fortune lies 1,000 small decisions no one ever sees. Not flashy, not fun, but powerful. Warren Buffett didn't build his empire by finding a secret shortcut. He built it by repeating boring, brilliant decisions consistently for decades, buying only when value made sense, holding when others were panicking, trusting time over timing. Discipline made that possible. And the best part? You don't need billions to do the same. You only need courage to say no today, so you can say yes to everything tomorrow. 2. Most people will never get this. And that's the truth. Most people will keep chasing hacks. They'll jump from crypto hype to meme stocks to overnight get-rich-quick schemes. Because shortcuts are seductive. But here's what they don't realize. Easy money is expensive. Fast money is fragile. Loud money disappears. True wealth whispers. It grows slow. And it waits for the disciplined few. So ask yourself honestly, do you want to look rich or be rich? Because discipline can't do both. 3. The power of doing what others won't. Let's be real. Discipline isn't sexy. No one claps when you skip that impulse purchase. No one throws a party because you auto-invested into your index fund again. But that's what makes it special. Doing what others won't is how you get what others can't. While the world scrolls, spends, and spirals, you stay centered. You move quietly, patiently. And suddenly you wake up one day with peace, options, freedom, not by accident, but by design. For your destiny is in your daily decisions. You don't build discipline once. You choose it every day. When you wake up early instead of hitting snooze. When you invest instead of splurge. When you plan for 20 years, not just the weekend. It's not always glamorous, but it is always powerful. Because those small daily decisions, they compound just like your money. And the result is not just wealth. It's who you become. 5. The real question. Who are you becoming? That's the heart of it, isn't it? This video isn't just about finance. It's about identity. Discipline doesn't just build your bank account. It builds your character. It shapes your story. It determines the kind of person you are when no one is watching. So ask yourself, am I building a life I can be proud of? Am I planting seeds I'll be grateful for 10 years from now? Because the truth is, your destiny is not written in luck. It's written in your habits. 6. This is the beginning, not the end. You've made it to the end of this video, but in real life, this is just the beginning. Starting today, track your money. Cut the noise. Stick to your plan. Be the person who waits when others rush. And most of all, trust that discipline always pays off. Not always tomorrow, but always eventually. Because the one thing more powerful than talent is consistency. 7. Your future self is waiting. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the version of you 10 years from now. What do they look like? How do they feel? What kind of freedom do they live with? What kind of peace do they walk with? That version of you? They're watching you right now, hoping you choose discipline over comfort, purpose over distraction, patience over panic. And when you do, they thank you. Final words. Discipline is destiny. It's not the easy road, but it's the road that leads to everything that matters. Wisdom, freedom, legacy. So don't just watch this video. Live it. And remember, every dollar you save, every temptation you resist, every habit you protect, is a brick in the foundation of the life you're building. Brick by brick, step by step. This is your moment. Start today. And never look back. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it. Comment, subscribe. Because at Bold Steps Forward, we don't just talk about freedom. We build it, one disciplined step at a time.